Sound crazy. Shalom, Yahba Shem Yahshua, Barakatham to the brothers. Yah Shamarla, Thamba Shem Yahshua to the sisters. This is Priest and Officer Aaron with the I.S.U.P.K. Under Commanding General Yohanna. We teach that blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that your oppressor, the white man, is the devil the Bible speaks of. Today we're gonna get into talk a little bit about Jeremiah 2:33, and we're going to talk about us changing our ways to be accepted in this empire. We're going to start with Jeremiah 2:33. Salakia. Let's go to it. 2:33. Okay. And it reads, "Why trimmest thy way to seek love?" You know what I mean? So basically, why change the way we are to seek love from our oppressor? You know, what are some of the ways, we change, to be loved by the wicked oppressor? One of the ways we do is we cut our beards off. See, I got a beard here. A lot of us brothers, we like to go clean face to fit in with the oppressor. The oppressor don't like all that hair on your face. He wants you to have a nice clean face. In his military, he got you with a nice clean face, clean head, so you look like him. You know what I mean? But you're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to look like an Egyptian where you shape it up, and shape ups are unlawful. And that's in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, 20, and 27, where you're not supposed to. Matter of fact, let's go to that. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 19, just so you can see what it says. 19 and 27. It reads, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard." So all that shape up we like to get, I was in the world before. I know what it's like. You want to get, a fresh cut and shaped up. And nothing was worse than, when you're in the world, nothing was worse than not having the shape up. At least you would want to have a shape up. Well, that's against the Most High. You can clean up around your face. Now, if the Most High took your hair, maybe you can cut it down low, cut it bald, but you're not allowed to walk around looking like an Egyptian. So that's the one thing you can't do is cut, you can cut under here, but you can't shape it up with a razor. That's the big thing, razor sharp beard. You can't do that. That's against the Most High. What are some of the other things that we do to please the oppressor or to try to fit in? That's what it means by trimmeth thy way. What do we do to try to fit in? A lot of us, especially our sisters, do this. They change their voice when they get on the phone. If you ever noticed that, there's one thing, like I say, there's one thing about you can have a business voice, but then there's another thing about sounding like your oppressor, sound like a white guy or a white woman on the phone. And we definitely have done that since the beginning of time, I guess, since we've been in this place, since phones were invented. So that's one thing we do. We get on that phone and we sound just like the oppressor. You know what I mean? As if, and then some people will say, well, that's just sounding like, business. Nah. You can talk business and still talk like a black person. And they know you're a black person on the other end. I don't know why we even do it. You know what I mean? But that's what we do. We call in and switch the voice. But they don't ever switch their voice to us unless they're dealing with us and try to fit in with us when it comes to taking our money, but they ain't fitting in. If you need them, if when we need them, they'll definitely, if they come, if you got some money for them, they'll switch up sometimes. But every time we call, we got to sound white, and we should stop doing that. Another thing we do, our sisters, I ain't picking on the sisters, but we'll put another nation's hair on top of our head. That's another thing we like to do. You know what I mean? You got this long, our sisters, that's a very touchy situation, is their hair. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the men, blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we don't care about. I mean, we care, but not like that. A lot of these sisters got beautiful hair up under them wigs, and they won't wear it because they're ashamed of it, because they want their hair to go down their back like another nation of people. When the Most High made our hair, it don't go that way. A lot of times it goes up. So, but we the greatest people on the planet, but we don't act like it a lot of times because we're so worried about changing our ways to fit into this society, and that's our downfall right there. You don't change your ways to fit in with another nation of people. I know they get all the breaks and all that, and you figure, well, if I act like them, talk like them, walk like them, then maybe I'll get some breaks too. And sometimes these big hit Negroes are very successful at doing it a lot of times. You know what I mean? They kiss ass enough and act like them, they get a crumb. You know what I mean? And niggas, a lot of niggas is happy with crumbs. You know what I mean? As long as they can get a crumb off their master's table, they're happy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but that's another thing. We do. We put the hair on top of our head and we swing it around like on the commercials and all that. So you ain't got to do all that. So you go back in the day. We got these. I seen some old videos of the 80s, 70s, and 80s. They was jump roping and doing all, and they had their natural hair, beautiful hair on these sisters, man. Beautiful hair on these sisters. And they, for some reason, they're just ashamed. Nowadays, they're just ashamed of it. Too lazy to do their hair, whatever the reason is. So, another thing we do is, when we're the only black person around, a bunch of oppressors, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to see that. Like, it's a party and you're the only black person there. You're the only nigga there. Now, if somebody's going to end up dead, it's going to be you. It's not going to be them. You know that. Or like camping. Don't ever go camping or hunting with, the oppressor, because there's going to be a gun. There's going to be an accident. It's going to happen, and you're the one that's going to get shot. You know what I mean? So stay away from all that. You know what I mean? Don't join any of that. Don't follow any of that. You're the one that's something's gonna happen to when you're around, when it's all oppressors and it's just you. I've seen it a million times. We all have. You know what I mean? So let's go to another scripture. Let's go to 1 John 2 and 5. All right. Sign of Christ. And it reads, love not the world. You know what I mean? So, don't love the world. You know what I mean? What's some of the things that's in the world? Well, this 4th of July is coming up. Every Negro is going to be watching the fireworks as if they ain't never seen fireworks before. You know what I mean? But that's you don't join them to celebrate their victories. You know what I mean? We was in slavery when this place became independent of Europe or whatever country that is over there. So what the hell we celebrating for? You know what I mean? This is not our rest. We don't got to worry about, let them have their celebrations. You know what I mean? What are we cooking for on that day? Why are we on the grill? You know what I mean? The slaves don't have nothing to do, the slaves of this empire don't have nothing to do with that. But that's us trimming our ways, try to fit in. Oh, it's the 4th of July. Negroes would be wearing red, white, and blue and every damn thing else. Barbecue grills on sale. They out at Home Depot getting the barbecue grill. Simple, man. Just trying to fit in, trying to have fun. Celebrate. You don't even know what the hell you celebrating. You ain't got to celebrate on the 4th of July. You don't have to grill on the 4th of July. You could wait a week later. What the hell are you doing it on that day for? You know what I'm saying? Going down, gathering. And you know how many niggas get their hands blown off that day? That week? Setting fireworks. The one football player got his hand blew off. I know people who's also got all kinds of accidents when it comes to them fireworks. You know what I mean? You don't mess with that type of stuff. Birthdays, that's another thing we do. We just got to celebrate your damn birthday. Like, who the hell are you? You know how many people was born on that day? There's millions of people born on the same day as you, but you think you're some special person because it's the day you was born. And meanwhile, you didn't do anything that day to be born. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what are you celebrating it for? So let's go to Romans 1:25. Slovakia. Hold on, let's just know what. There's a lot more meat on that. Slovakia. I didn't almost skipped off it. I only read one line. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. See what that's saying? If you love all these things in this world, love them, then you don't love the Most High. You love Esau, because this is his game. This is his empire. Most High, you ain't seen nothing yet. This ain't nothing. So if you love all his little gadgets and all his holidays and his ways of life, then you don't have the love of the Most High in you. Verse 26, for Slovakia, 1 John 2:16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So goes back to what I just said. Everything that's in the world is the pride, pride of life. You know, the lustful things. It's not of the Father. It's not of the Most High. You know what I mean? So that goes to show that, you know, you got to really watch what you do in this world, because you could be easily celebrating something the Most High or cherishing something the Most High don't want you to cherish. Let's go to Romans 1:25. Chapter 1, verse 25. Romans chapter 1:25. It reads, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. So yeah, who changed the truth into a lie? Our oppressor turned everything we know. Everything that we know, he turned it into a lie. You know what I mean? What are some of the things that he turned? I mean, we could go on and on. We could always like to start with the color of the priests and prophets of the Lord. Starting with our King Christ, they made him a white boy. They turned him into a white boy. That's a damn lie. That's what, to me, that's the biggest lie. Because once you start with that lie, now you can just you're saying that Israelites are white. You're saying that everybody in the Bible is white, and it just ruins the whole everything. And if you don't know, which most of us don't even know what an Israelite is, you're just going to be worshiping white people like we do. You know what I mean? So the color of Yahweh, we can get into that. That's one of the first things you learn when you're a kid, is that he was white, and that's a lie. The oppressor. So let's go to Revelations. This one of the ones that you could use to cut a Christian, but you know they act like they don't know this verse exists. They don't never go to it because they don't want to talk about it. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Okay, this is a description of the man that they claim is a white boy. Okay, but here's the actual description of him. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass. What color is fine brass? Brown, dark brown, as if they were burned in a furnace. So now it's a toasty brown. It's real toasty. So that ain't no white boy that you done been seeing since the day you was born. And they got pictures of him all over the damn place and statues. And his voice as the sound of many waters. So let's go back to what our oppressor has turned and changed the truth of God into a lie. So he changed the truth of God into a lie. That's one of the things. Our King Yahushua, they turned him into a white guy. Another thing they've done, they made the LGBTQ movement and acceptable. It's nothing wrong with it. They make it like there's nothing wrong with it. So they push that on our children. You notice they try to sneak it into the schools. They got it on every channel you watch. There's a scene with two men, two women. It's a part. They make it like it's just so normal. But when you make it normal like that, now kids are very impressionable. You got to watch that. And they know that because two gay people can't slock it. Two LGBTQ can't reproduce. So they always have to recruit kids. You can't, most of the time, adults, if you grow up and you're a straight adult, that's just who you're going to be. But you can always change the minds of a child a lot of times. So they always have to recruit children. That shit wicked as hell. Slakia. And let's go to, let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's see what happens when you are LGBTQ. All right. This one. Slovakia. This one's usually not hard to find. Slovakia. Give me 1 second here. Good night. Oh, I know it. Here it is. Slovakia. So it's the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and 13. This just confirms it confirms that the white man is a liar. That's number one. Being LGBTQ is wrong, and he lies about it all the time. He makes it like it's normal. He gives them people a way of living when instead of, he should be saying, no, that's illegal. You can't do that. But no, he's lying. He wants to recruit the kids. So Leviticus 20 and 13, if a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. Good night. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. That sounds like HIV. The blood should be upon them. Sound like HIV or AIDS to me. That's what it sounds like. Slovakia. So let's go back to that. That's one of the things the oppressor likes to do. He likes to make things acceptable, and LGBTQ is not acceptable. You know what I mean? Him just being the devil is he lie about that. He know damn well he the devil. He knows he the devil. Your oppressor knows he the devil. He know you don't know it. He don't think you got. He thinks that he knows that you look up to him like as a god. He don't think you got no God. He don't think blacks, Hispanics, and Native have a God. He feels that he's your God, and you look up to him, so you do what the hell he tell you to do. So in about a week or two, you're going to go get that grill. You're going to say, and you're going to take the little bit of money you got extra, and you're going to go out and celebrate. What? What's so great about America that you want to celebrate it? You just seen 2 cases in 2 weeks. A kid gets shot in the back by a heathen, chasing him down 100 yards. That could have been any one of our children. You just seen another kid go to jail for defending himself, and there's many, many more. And this is just the beginning. You seen Trayvon Martin. Seen what happened with them. Oppressor not minding his business. want to fight a kid, kills a kid, they didn't auction the gun off on him. That gun was worth, I think they got hundreds of thousands of dollars for the gun that killed Trayvon Martin. And ain't nobody mad about that. Niggas stay mad for about a week. And then they go back to their lives and forget what the hell even happened to some of these kids and adults. You see what happened to Sandra Bland. Yeah, well, our sister's got a little bit of mouth, even though she probably shouldn't have ran her mouth. But shit, so what? White people run their mouth to the cops all the time. Yeah, she might have ran her mouth. Maybe she did or maybe she didn't. She don't end up dead. What the hell's going on? You know, the one brother, what happened to him? He was quote unquote supposedly selling cigarettes. They choked him to death like he was an animal. The one other brother, I think it was Castilla, he was in the car with his wife and baby in the back. He reached for his license and get his head blown off. What the hell is going on? If you're that scared out there as a police officer, what the hell are you doing out there? They play that scare game, but they really just they just hunt our steps. That's all it is. They hunt our steps, and they're looking for a reason to blow your head off or throw your ass in jail. And so we got to turn to our God and see. Well, he'll fight all these battles that we fighting on every front. He'll just fight them all, and then they'll be scared of us because they'll say, "Oh, they know they got a God. He don't play about his children." But not us. We turn to everything else: Christianity, Islam, you name it. Everything but the God of the Bible. Then sit there and lie on the God of the Bible. Good night. All right, let's go to Salakia. So it says, this is Romans chapter 1, verse 25. Who has changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator? That's us. Worship white people more than we worship God. You know what I mean? Every time, everything we do is around that white man. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do. And you can say it's not true and it's the truth because in 2 weeks, like I said, in 2 weeks, you're going to be celebrating what the hell he tell you to celebrate. Not what the Most High. We got high holy days in the scriptures. I told people I'm going to the pastor. They look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, pastor, what's that? Instead, they want to do an Easter egg hunt. Slakia. So it says, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. You know what I mean? And that's our problem. We are so worried about serving this country and this society and that white man so we can get a crumb from them. All we got to do is turn back to the Most High. All right, let's move on. Let's go to First Ezra's chapter 8, verse 84. I didn't know what that meant. Verses in that chapter. Wow. And it reads, therefore, now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons. You know what I mean? You don't supposed to join. So all that Martin Luther King, a white girl and a black boy holding hands and then getting married, all that. No. You don't do that. That's against the Most High. Neither shall you take their daughters unto your sons. So that means you stay separate. We are holy people. You don't join another nation of people, especially thinking that they're better than you are. They're not no better. They are beneath us. The only reason they're shining now is because we sinful. And the Most High, we serving out a judgment because of our sin. But the Most High already told us if we follow his law, statutes, and commandments, that's Deuteronomy 7 and 6. If we follow our law, statutes, and commandments, he'll put us above all people on the face of the earth. To me, that's a deal. You know what I mean? So I'm going to read it again. First Ezra chapter 8, verse 84. Therefore, now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons, neither shall you take their daughters unto your sons. Verse 85. Moreover, you shall never seek to have peace with them. So you ain't supposed to never be sitting there. You can do business with them. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You got to do business with. Sometimes you got to do business with other nations. But you ain't supposed to be sitting there trying to be, friends. Like I said, you could be associates or whatever, but all that being friends and, acting like that's not your enemy. Now you always got to know who your enemy is. Just like the rabbit and the fox, they know The rabbit knows the fox is his enemy. I don't give a damn how nice the fox can be to him. The mother fox and the father fox, the mother rabbit and the father rabbit tells the fox that is your enemy. You know it as soon as he's born, that because he's being hunted by the damn thing as soon as he's born. So, but us, we don't think like that. We just think, oh, that's just an isolated incident. That, the Lord said that these people are our enemy. What the hell else has to happen? You see how we get treated by them. So, like it. Yeah, there's some good, decent people, and that's what I think confuses us. There's decent, I ain't say good. I don't mean to say good. There's decent people out here that will treat you fairly a lot of times that are from other nations. I understand that. But that still don't make them not your enemy. They still your enemy because the Lord said they're your enemy. Good night. There's a way to deal with them. Do like they do. All they do is they deal with you. You friends, and when you go separate ways, he hates your guts. That's all. That's what he does. You can have. I sit down and laugh with him at the slave and do everything, but I ain't eating. We ain't going to dinner together or nothing. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Sometimes we might. You go to a Steeler game or a baseball game or something, you're in the crowd, you may high five. I don't high five them, but, I see, big head Negroes down there in the crowd, you know what I mean? But hey, when this game is over, you go your way, they go their way. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. Salakia, verse 85. First Ezra chapter 8, verse 85. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong. You know what I mean? So that's our strength. Being separate from these nations is our strength. It's not weakness. It's not a weakness to be you. Once you join and be with them, now you got weak. It's like a cup of coffee. I think Malcolm X said that a black cup of coffee is as soon as you start putting cream in it, now you're watering it down. It's not as strong anymore. But so our strength is being a holy people, a separate people, and eat the good things of the land. So, being separate, we're going to have our farms and have our cattle and our cows and all our, and all our livestock or whatever. Those will be our things we're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? And that ye may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children for more. So now, once you done created some wealth because you got all your money stays in your community, stays amongst your people. Now, when the old man gets old and he passes on, now his children inherit his things, his house, his farms. They don't just go to the white man and then every kid, every generation got to start from scratch. You see what I'm saying? And that's another problem that black people have. Anytime a child is born in this land, he's supposed to have inheritance coming to him, especially a black man. But instead, all our children have to go once the mom is dead, the dad is dead. They don't inherit anything, and then they have kids and they start from scratch. That's rough. That's a slave. You know what I mean? You can't pass nothing down. That's how you get wealth. All our people should have farms. We should have gas stations. We should have all kinds of businesses, all kinds of real estate. So when you do croak, you can pass something down to your people. And that's why you don't marry outside. That's why it says don't join your daughter to your sons and vice versa. Because if you do that and you die, then the inheritance goes to the spouse, which is another nation of people. Now they get the inheritance. It don't pass down to your people. It's common sense if you really think about it. Shalakia. So that's some of the things, you have to do. Let's go to I got a couple more scriptures and then we're going to be done. Let's go to Zephaniah 2:1. You know what I mean? Most High Christ, It says, gather yourselves together, ye gather together. O nation not desired, you know what I mean? Black man, Hispanic man, and Native man, we gotta come together, all under the same umbrella, under Commanding General Yohanna under Christ, because that's the only way out of this hell. We didn't try everything else. So we all got to come together. We are the nation that's not desired. Nobody likes. I mean, they'll use us, but they deep down inside, all the nations hate us. All the nations hate blacks, Hispanics, and natives. All you got to do is turn. You don't even got to turn the TV on. We are all we got, and we are powerful people if we come together and cut all this madness out. The women get in order, get our women in order. The men get these children in order. These children running around doing what the hell they want, nothing to do. Only a child with nothing to do is going to find some trouble. You know what I mean? And then we get mad when the oppressor, do what he do. He's the devil. What the hell you think he's going to do? Eventually, he's going to come down on these children, and we're going to be upset because our men got to step up, man. Then Big Mama can't turn this around. This is for men to do. We got to get our children out these streets and start teaching them these laws, statutes, and commandments, and give them some morals. You know what I mean? These other nations don't love us. You know what I mean? We could turn this thing around overnight. All we got to do is start following these laws, statutes, and commandments, and this whole thing can be turned around overnight. You know what I mean? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28:1. 28:1. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass that means it shall come to pass. That means this is a guarantee. The Most High is going to give you a guarantee. You know what I mean? This is what's going to happen if you do something. If thou shalt hearken, listen diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all, not some, but do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. You know what I mean? Right now, we in last place in this race, in the human race. We in last place. So so obviously we're not following the law, statutes, commandments like he said to do. We're not observing and doing all his commandments collectively. You know what I mean? We're not doing any of that because we're on the bottom. So it says, it says he'll set us above all the nations of the world. But God said, if you do them all, you'll be above everybody. I like that deal. That's that's the sweetest deal you're gonna get. all you gotta do is the law, statutes, commandments, and observe them and do them all. Crazy. I want to be in rulership. Let's skip down to verse 3, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 3. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you see Chinese food restaurants, corner stores owned by Arabs, Fishing Hook, owned by Arabs, Dunkin' Donuts owned by East Indians, the white man's patrolling the whole community. You know what I mean? You are cursed as a people. That's a curse. You're not that. None of that is supposed to ever happen. You ain't supposed to walk out the door and heathens are every damn where. You know what I mean? We supposed to be separate. I can't stress that enough. The Most High can't stress it enough. Slacker, Most High stressing it. We are supposed to be separate from these other nations. You know what I mean? If you're separate, then a kid doesn't get shot in the back by a Chinese man because he ain't even supposed to be there. That's supposed to be a black gas station. You ain't supposed to be going into no Chinese gas station. Where the hell do Chinese people live at? I ain't even seen no Chinese community around anywhere. Where do they live? They come in, do business in our community, and then they get the hell out of there. And they hate you because anytime you make up a lie, somebody's stealing, and you chase them that far down, you hunted that man, that young man. Why would you do that? You have to hate the person in order to do something like that. You know what I mean? So let's skip down. Let's drop down to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 10. And it reads, and all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. You supposed, Most High said, When you follow these laws, statutes, and commandments as a nation of people, the other nations will be afraid of you. Damn. Slaga. Yeah, I mean, I want to feel that. You all your people, the Most High got it where the other nations don't even bother you. You know what I mean? We supposed to be feared out here, you know what I mean? Because not because we criminals or anything. You fear, not because of that, but because we have a God that does not play about his children, man. So you mess with one of us, the Most High will come down on you. You know what I'm saying? So, and let's just go back to Deuteronomy 7:6. We're going to skip back a little bit just to show that, the Most High wants us to be separate. And holy means separate for all the Christians. They don't know what holy means. They say, oh, it's something in the sky, or it's just God. They can't explain it because their pastor ain't never told them what holy means. Never. Because he don't know. You know what I'm saying? All he knows is John 3:16. That's his favorite. Well, that's all he want to teach. So you can just give him his money. He can go home and eat pork chops. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people. We are a separate people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee. So, wait a minute. If he chose somebody, there's somebody else he's not choosing. So if he chose blacks, Hispanics, and natives, who didn't he choose? He didn't choose Arabs. He didn't choose Chinese. He didn't choose the white man. That's always they don't even, when you start talking about being sin, not to get this is a side note. When you start talking about salvation, niggas only care about saving white people. They don't care. They don't mention no Arabs. They don't mention no Chinese people. There's like 18 nations, if I'm wrong, in the world, and all they care about is salvation for the white man. Now that is Stockholm syndrome, if I've ever seen it. Good night. Also, all they care about, the whole argument be about saving white people. Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, your people's in hell. You worried about saving white people. That's Stockholm syndrome. So, Slaga, it says, the Lord thy God have chosen thee. So if we're being chosen, that means the other nations aren't being chosen. So he has a favorite to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So you got the Most High chose blacks, Hispanics, and natives to be a special people, to be above all people on the face. The Most High is I guess you could say he's racist, because he loves one type of people, nation of people, and he don't like the other nations of people. You know what I mean? We're gonna be we're supposed to be above them, but he can't put you above us. He can't put us above them until we do what we're supposed to do. We have an agreement with the Most High that we are not following. So this is the last one I'm going to get to. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord. How do you please the Lord? How does your ways please the Lord? When you follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, you please the Most High. That's period. That's all you have to do. So it says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So everything you see is going on with black people, Hispanic people, and native people, all we got to do is serve the Most High, and they will be at peace with us, because they ain't going to want no smoke from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, all we got a job to do. It's very easy. It's easier than what you think it is. Follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Change the way you eat. Change the way you love your brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Always follow the high holy days in the scriptures. Don't follow Esau's holiday, the white man's holidays. Don't worry about his holidays. Act like they don't even exist. Father's Day just passed. I forgot it was even Father's Days until middle of the damn day. I don't pay no attention to the holidays anymore. I don't know what day they fall. I just recently looked at what day the 4th was falling, because it falls on a day that we have camp normally. But other than that, I don't even pay attention to it. I don't watch too much TV, so I don't see when these holidays. You're supposed to not even know when the damn holiday is, because it ain't your holiday. It's the white man's holiday. So what the hell you care? Why are you celebrating the shit he celebrate? You celebrating the murder of the Indians and Thanksgiving. Why? Why would you do that? Them is your brothers. You wouldn't like if the natives celebrated slavery on your ass. No, we wouldn't like that. So don't do that to your brothers, man. It says, what does it say? Gather yourselves together. And that's what we got to start doing, gathering ourselves together, get in the truth, learn who you are, learn who your God is, learn what he expects and what he commands of you. And we'll be just actually above all people at the end of the day. That's it. That's all I got for you today. Shalom, Israel.